No, you're not dreaming. Inside the Mind of a Pro is back. 2 years after its last season, your favorite series is finally unveiling new episodes, and we have a lot of lost time to make up for after such a long absence. And what better setting than the World Series of Poker in Las Vegas to find poker at its highest level? The most beautiful of competitions has also been absent for too long. It's October 2021. The Rio Casino reopens its doors to poker players from all over the world. The Team Winamax players are present for the reunion, of course, and to resume their quest for world champion bracelets. Romain Lewis, Pierre Calamusa, Joao Vieira, Adrian Mateos, Aladdin Rescala, Francois Pirault. All of them are eager to get back into the fight and to once again share their thinking process and everything that goes on in the head of a professional in the hunt for the poker player's ultimate trophy. You're probably as excited as we are, so without further ado, let's meet the first hero of this new season, Mustafa Kanit. Our favorite Italian is in fine form, having celebrated the return of the WSOP by slamming back-to-back final tables on his arrival in two of the festival's most expensive tournaments. 2 great scores for $350,000 in winnings, a sum that allows him to spend the rest of the festival with a serene mindset. Well, even more serene than usual, because as you'll see, Mustafa has not lost his legendary joie de vivre. On the menu today for our hero, a new no-limit hold'em tournament with a $2,500 buy-in. We leave the small family of high roller pros to find ourselves in the middle of a sea of almost 900 players, where we'll come across as many amateurs as we do professionals, all looking for their piece of the $2 million prize pool, and also, of course, the World Champion bracelet. Come on, no time to lose. Event 41 is about to start. We find Mustafa in the suburbs of Las Vegas. Our hero is currently waiting for his driver to take him to the Rio. You know him well, and he is as impatient as the rest of us to get back on track.
Oh, it's a really good day in Vegas. I'm so ready to play for today. Stefan is supposed to come pick me up very soon. Let me check. Yeah, he's here. Let's go.
Good
Ciao,
morning,
coach.
Musta.
Buongiorno.
How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Good.
Sì, sì, tutto bene.
Alright. How are you feeling about yesterday? The way it ended and everything? You play well?
Yeah, I played well. The last hand, it was really... I went really in a decision, but I had a really good hand. I had ace queen
Alright.
and 18
How
bigs.
deep?
but-
18, okay. So it wasn't very deep.
Huh?
You were not very deep yet.
No. It was but it was a close decision. Like it took me like 2 minutes and a half to call.
So what's the learning that you get out of this then, if there's any?
To win the next tournament, coach.
Yeah, but that's weird. That's not a learning. That's an
To win
intention.
this tournament. No, the learning. There were one hand that maybe I regret a bit. Nothing. I open raised 2 big blind. The big blind 3-bet me, very polarized. And my feeling wanted me to jam, but my hand was really bad.
So you didn't go with your gut feeling then.
No, it was too big of a jam. It was like 1.7 million jam, but he was full of shit, the guy. He was full of shit. He was so full of shit, so full.
So why didn't you do it then? Did you ask him later on? What he
No,
had?
I didn't ask him, but I don't want to get lied of. I have an issue. In these situations, 90% of the time I lie. So I don't trust anybody.
That's true. That's true. Every time you tell me about a situation like this, you say, "No, the guy is not telling the truth for sure."
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, depends. With you, coach, of course, I tell 100% the truth. But
Yeah,
if he's
well,
a
I'm not sure. We need to talk about
if
that.
he's a
About
random
the
guy
house,
at the
I don't know if
table
you told
that
me
is
the
my
whole
opponent
truth.
and he asks me
Yeah.
what I had, 90% of the time I tell a lie. I'm evil. It's the only lies. I tell. I don't tell in real life or stuff. Or I never lie. But at the poker table, don't ask me what I folded.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Coach, yesterday the
I
craziest
love it.
story.
What?
Me and Dario take a cab with Uber, and this guy comes, okay, very talkative, a bit, overweight, obese.
Okay.
So whatever, we start to speak. We was like, oh, where are you guys going? The Rio. Can you leave us at the poker? He was like, oh, okay, you guys are poker player. Yes. He was like, oh, I played for so many years, but the last time I played, I was playing the main event, and I got a heart attack. And I was like,
You know, I remember that. How long ago was that?
The last main event or 3 years ago.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You remember that? They stopped play for like an hour or something.
So it was this
That's
guy.
the guy.
And
oh my God.
He was like, I was like, what happened? He was like, no, because so I had pocket nines, pocket threes against pocket nines. He comes, no, sorry. I had pocket threes against pocket nines. He comes 3xx. I bet huge. This guy call turn 9.
Wow.
We get it in, or he get it in
So
on the
he
flop.
got the heart attack because of the hand, actually. Oh my,
And
that's
River,
crazy.
he quotes the 3.
Oh,
And he said, oh, I caught the 3, and I start to go take the chips, and my heart couldn't hand, and I fall
Wow.
asleep. And the next time I wake up, I was in the ambulance. They all try me to wake me up.
I remember that. I remember they suspended play and they said somebody passed out, and then they had like all the the emergency folks come in and all.
So
oh
what's
my
this guy?
God, it's crazy.
And he was like, yeah, I played for so many years. I started when they didn't have it at the Rio, and he was like, but my doctor told me I cannot play anymore.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And my mom doesn't, my wife doesn't want. I have 2 daughters now. He was like, but fucking.
So what
life
happened?
story.
Did he come back to play later on because he won the
No.
hand, right? Still, or did he
He's
didn't
not playing.
finish the hand? He didn't come back to the that
No, he
tournament?
said he was complaining about it. He was like, no, and I double and my stack was there and sit out forever and I couldn't play and
Wow.
yeah,
Wow, that's a crazy story.
yeah, it was funny.
I hope to see you at the dinner break with a lot of chips.
Are you leaving?
Yeah, no, I'll probably I'll just park and come out, see what's up a little bit with the other guys. All right, Musti,
All right, coach.
go crush them.
Yalla, ciao.
Get those hands wet a little bit, huh?
Yeah, they were really wet yesterday.
I know. I saw the picture.
Even more
It
after.
was dripping from the screen of my smartphone. That's how wet it
Yeah,
was.
probably. Ciao.
It's quite great to be back playing live. Like, I miss this feeling. I miss like this sensation getting inside this poker room and like having this challenge, competing for big money. It's always, but more than the money, it's always the competition. I really like to challenge myself in this scenario. And to be honest, it just feels great to be here with this weather.
Oh, Uncle Jay. Ciao, bro. Thank you.
Like, such a great experience to be here in November. Like, I like it way more than the summer. Like, it's actually a place that I enjoy to be, Vegas, in this time of the year compared to, when it's extremely hot in the desert in the summer. But I'm ready. I'm quite cool. It's time to crush these guys.
Hi.
Let's see how it's gonna be my table. Usually when I sit down, I try to get as much information as I can.
Hello. How are you today? I'm good.
Look there is Paul Nui. What a legend. I love to play against him. I love to be around him. He's such a great character, a great person in general, a gentleman for sure. I remember one time he played one of the sickest hand I ever saw, cash game, where he 4-bet jammed the river and Truth Teller folded second nut, and he was left with like the blocker of the flush, and it was like for really little more, like he was like a push of 160,000 after a raise of 100k, so Truth Teller had crazy good odds and he folded second nut face up. Wow, insane. One of the most insane hands I ever saw, to be honest. Pull up from this old gentleman, Gotta respect him. Except Paul, I don't really know the others, but usually in these situations I just get my information, play low variance and see how it goes.
Juventus, I think.
Mhm.
And they won as well.
Yeah, very good team, Juventus.
There is a raise from the bottom of 600, ace 9.
He's just like a hard-working guy. He's not really sports.
I call from the big blind. Not the best board for me. I think I'm gonna call this bet because he went for a really small sizing. Often I'm ahead. Ace probably is good and he's gonna go very aggressive with it. So I think it's good to call. Let's see. I'm expecting him to go for it quite often. Many hands that bet the flop with no equity. Now maybe they have some equity. I have an ace, so my hand is quite happy about my hand. Here is a very easy decision. I'm gonna call 100% of the time. No point on raising. Okay, river is quite blank, but he might freeze the action.
Ace.
Ace 9 is good. Let's go, let's go. Always nice to win at the beginning. First hand you play especially. There are new familiar faces that join the table. I know both of them. I played a lot against many of these guys. So I'm in this situation, you know, I try to use my history in advantage and get the most out of it. Jack 9. I just call from the big blind. I expect him to bet quite often the flop. He's a very aggressive player, and okay, he went for quite big sizing. I'm quite comfortable with my hand. I don't think it's strong enough to check raise, so I'm just gonna call, even though I think I'm ahead most of the times.
How tilted were you when you saw the fives? Were you more tilted when you
The 3 is really good for me, quite blank. Here I hope to see, I mean, check back is very nice for me, but I have a very strong hand. I'm very happy to call again. Also, the Jack of Hearts helps in the case I wanna to transform in some situation, but my hand is quite too strong to transform, I think. So I'm just gonna go for another check call. Even though he can have a better 9, of course, or overpair or a set, but my hand is just too strong to fold, and you know, like, of course he has so many bluffs too, like that he's gonna perceive, and he's a very aggressive player, so he might open even 7-6 suited, 5-7 suited, 6-5 suited. So the river is not the best. He has some queens like that are bluffing on the turn, and he the river like queen 10, queen jack. But at the same time, he's quite polarized action if he bets again. He of course can have some flushes. The 9 of spade help, and he's quite aggressive player. I'm not really happy here, but I think it's quite good enough for a bluff catch here. He still have some hands he might go for, like some there are so many natural bluffs here, and yeah, I'm not happy with it, but I think I'm gonna call. He looks like he wants to take my money, and he's a quart might sizing and he's value betting something, but I think my hand is too strong to fold. And Yeah, Queen Jack. Makes sense. Like, not much you can do. Of course, I think I played good till the river, and on the river I had decision, but I think like it's fine to call. Like, fold with the right hand, fold with the left hand, fold with both hands. You know, poker tournaments. Sometimes you just got to fold. So I think I can go both ways. I can 3-bet or just call. It's a quite easy table. Like, this guy wasn't been raising so much early, and I'm fine with just calling and see if someone squeezes or like how to develop the hand. The squeezer is quite tight, to be honest. So far he played quite tight, and I'm very happy overall. I have a hand that is at top of my range, and I can have a decision here to raise again or just call, but I'm quite comfortable, I think, to play it on call again and check post flop what's up. It's a very good flop for me. I think I'm just gonna check and try to get the most from his range. Like, I'm behind only to king, queen and aces, and it's quite unlikely. So I have decisions here. I can check raise or just check call. I think I will probably just check call because I think he still has enough bluff in his range, and at the same time I like to underwrap my hand, even though like it's of course good to leave him the equity and like close the hand here, but I don't know, I try to get the most out of it and make him maybe make a mistake with ace king, ace queen, or can even have like a really good hand like ace jack. Check. I for sure have the best hand, and yeah, on the river I think it's a clear value bet. There is good money to be made. The pot is 16k. I don't think I want to go too big because I want him to bluff catch me with top pair as often as he can. And at the same time, it's quite unique texture that at the same time if I'm bluffing I can go small size too. So I think about 3/4 is the right size. My image is always the crazy Musta image. I never have anything, so it's also nice to go big sizing, put him in decisions, and I don't expect to see so many flushes from him because like so many, ace x of diamond is top pair and flush draw. He might play different king queen, all of those, queen 9, they will go for the aggressor. I think they will not check back turn. So I'm quite comfortable about my hand, even though I'm not sure how often he's gonna call, but people do mistakes. And reasonably, I can have many bluffs here, like queen 10 of spade, king 10 of spade, king jack of spade, 8-9, or of any suit, 9-7. So maybe 8-9 on the pre-flop, it will be a bit too wide, but in a small blind where there is not many squeezers after me, and like I might put her up in the range sometime. I think it's always nice to be flexible mentally and like even though, you know, make maybe something slightly minus EV, but having one more hand in your range is sometimes can be profitable in the long term. Okay, I'm quite comfortable. Pay the money, pay the money. Merci beaucoup. Let's go. Let's go.
300. I had jacks.
Liar! Liar! You could say anything you want.
I forgot, you know, I was so into the hand, I forgot about it.
We appreciate your letting us know.
I say the truth, I say the truth.
So the blinds are up in the mid time. We're playing 200-300 with a big blind ante of 300. It's going quite good. The table is, it's not the best table in Vegas, but I think I can get along. Okay, there is a raise from the small blind. So far he's been tight, but I don't trust him. He looks like he has this PU image to him. Okay, here we have both options. We can check or bet, but check is fine.
Before that.
Okay, here I think he face up himself a bit. He has a lot of ace highs, I think. Okay, this is really good. I think it's quite hard to call the river with an ace high.
1800.
I like to be polarized, I like to put him in a decision. And betting a little bit over pot is you put him out of the comfort zone and he can make a mistake. And also remember that when someone makes a mistake, you can really get that on advantage to you.
No, I forgot what I had. Fuck.
Jack, you had Jack, right?
Duck.
One of these. Straight over there at table number 66.
He was so happy to don't spend time with you anymore, actually. He was like, yes, take my chips and I'm gone.
That's what happened to me exactly. I mean, it was a different hand, but it was another cooler in the 5K, and then I got moved like the exact same hand. I was just feeling like,
He's on me again. I think it's easy race from the bottom.
right? Exactly. All right. Remember what you have.
I have. Wow.
I know her quite well, we played a lot against each other. Just think, I'm gonna check. It's a lot of her range, it's not like the best texture for my hand. Yeah, let's be nice for once. You got this one. I'm not happy about it, but you got it.
Easy.
Pocket jacks.
No. I didn't have pocket jacks.
I lost 2 big blinds, I feel like I lost 150.
Yeah.
It's the way I am. Nothing you can do about it.
I'm not gonna write it down. This was small. Take it.
Oh, I see.
Take it.
I see how it is. So my hand is not worthy of writing down.
No,
I like that. It's
It's kind of messed up.
It is.
if I don't see bet, doesn't count. This is my it's my show, is my rule, okay?
I don't know. I feel like you're making,
It's my show.
I feel like you're making these rules up as you go.
Adrian show is different rules, okay? I don't come to tell you how to write your books, okay? So please.
That hurt. Right in the
No, it wasn't. Actually, it was something good. I don't tell you.
All right. Your show, your rules.
Yeah, your book, your rules. You know.
I'm glad we've come to an agreement. I still want to be in your show.
You are. Okay, write it down. Okay. No, it's embarrassing because I had a good hand and they played really weakly. If you see how I played that hand, he will take advantage of me. But you are nice. I didn't wanna see bet. I didn't wanna overbet the turn and
I understand.
overbet the river. It was two options. Yeah. I felt you had a 7. I didn't wanna
Second time is never.
I didn't wanna crack your 7.
Yeah, it's always nice to see her and have friendly people at the table.
I just had 2 high cards on
You born and raised there?
No, born in Russia.
Ah, you born in Russia. Привет.
We always need to play
okay.
for so long, and
So I speak Russian.
All right.
I just enjoy to have friendly people to, get have a nice day at job,
Thanks to my parents.
I speak Moroccan too, so I need to thank my parents.
Well, it's one of these things where, like, if they don't make an effort, then you're gonna forget it
Yeah.
because you're not.
And it helps you, It's,
For sure. Do both of your parents speak Moroccan?
yeah.
Usual policy, just call.
Yeah, I lived in Morocco from 1 to 5 actually. I born in Italy, but then I lived in Morocco with my grandparents.
I could lead, but I think I like to check. I can wrap way more hands, and I don't like to polarize so much. It's an option. I think we can just lead here and try to get it done. Anyway, when we call a hand like this pre-flop, we need to try to bluff often. We need to try to get some bluffs off, and don't be scared to bluff it in a way. Especially, I think people under bluff when it's like 3-way. Okay, this I didn't want to see it. I think we have only option, we're gonna fold. I tried, it's okay.
All right. Players in the 2500, get ready for a 20-minute break. You check raise me, eh? Give me a change. If you call, I bluff the river, you call.
I bluff you also.
I have worse.
I don't have queen 6, so I need to raise.
3-6.
Queen 6 CP. So I don't have any hands, so I can.
I had 7 high. It's okay.
Your tables, let's give it permission for the supervisor to do so.
It's finally some break time. Let's go out, relax, see some of the guys. I always enjoy the breaks in these tournaments. Like, you hang out with your friends, you see them, you have time to relax a bit, like bring your mind out of that poker. Sit for like 10-15 minutes, have a drink.
Ciao, bro. How are you? Good? Yeah, I know. He told me.
We played together for hours.
Yeah. He told me you guys went to dinner together.
I thought he was gonna win.
Yeah, me too. He's good at Just 7. No, Dario is extremely talented at learning new games. You know, he gets it very quick, usually.
To pay honor and tribute to
Hi.
let's all stay standing here for the national anthem of the United States.
Oh, it's the American one.
It's that time. Bracelet ceremony, another one. There is a special thing to it. I always like these moments. Sooner or later they're gonna hear Fratelli d'Italia over the air, I'm telling you. It's time to raise.
Raise.
Raise to 1,000.
Here I have actually two options. I can raise, or I can just call and try to see if the short stack push all in and the other guy isolate with something worse. Hopefully he maybe sees dead money and maybe try to block with something like ace queen, ace jack, more likely ace queen. And anyway, I like to play big pots in position with like ace king. I think it's such a powerful hand post flop. I don't think he's gonna call so often. I think it's more likely that he's jamming or folding, so I'm very happy to play this hand. Of course there is reasonable, I forbet it, reasonable frequency to be honest. Okay, this is a great flop. I think we don't really have so much options. I'm just gonna go with the call and leave him the Grasher. Anyway, you still have so much bluff, and I think between turn and river I can get the most value. Turn is quite perfect for me. I'm very happy to see the 9 of clubs. I hope he's second barrel, but I don't think. He's telling me like, or I have like kings, queens, jacks, or bluff, or I mean, he can have some ace-x. Here, I think I bet the most often, but at the same time I can see a reason why to check back sometime to maybe pull up a big raise or in the river. But we have so many bluffs, so many flush draws, and so many other hands that wanna bet. So I think betting in high frequency is completely fine, especially with this hand.
You're going to be the big blind. You're going to move.
You're gonna move me?
Yes.
It was fun while it lasted.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck to you.
Aye, we're gonna go to a new table. I really like this one. I really like the dynamic.
My show, my rules. I'm leaving now.
Well, fun.
Good luck.
Take
See you later.
I don't really like to get moved, even if it's a hard table. Like when I have my dynamics and I'm into the feeling and I know what's up. I don't love to moving because anyway you always have that studying period where you're moved to a new table and like you need to get to it, understand who's playing more aggressive, how the tendencies, and especially in Vegas you don't know.
Oh, ciao. How are you?
On TV too.
Yeah,
How's it?
he's on La Tête d'un Pro today.
But like usually you don't know so much the other players and you need time to get some information or valuable.
Thank you.
Not here.
Yeah.
Here? Yeah. Come on.
Next. Hi, how are you?
My Argentinian friend spoke about you, about Tulum.
Who? Nacho?
No. Some girl from Tulum, Argentinian,
Ah, okay.
because I live over there.
You live in Tulum? In Playa? Where you
So in this new table I don't really know anybody. I recognize the Spanish guy, but the only guy I know is Adrian, of course, and the Ukrainian Israeli kid that I played a lot with him. He's quite a good player, very GT oriented, both of them. So I put some encouragement against these kind of players and try to get the best out of it. But I think they're both really good players, definitely. Easy raise from the bottom.
Raise?
So the big blind, he looks amateur to me as a first feeling. He gives me a Israeli vibe too. So this is my first, feeling information. I don't think I'm gonna fold king 9. I think I'm just probably gonna float. Kings and 9s are really good. Aces, queens, I can win it so often, and he might be leading with something worse. To be honest, I don't really believe him. I think maybe it's time to raise, or I just call and try to bluff at river. But it's one of these situations where I have range advantage and it's fine. My cards they don't matter as much. I just feel like, he might be full of shit. I still beat some 4-5, 5-6, all these hands, but I just think, okay, I don't have clubs, that would be really nice, but I just don't think he has so many flushes. And, I floated the turn, I think I'm gonna pull up the trigger here and go for a raise. My hand's a bit too weak to call. If I would have an 8 or a 3, I would have called. But, yeah, let's go for it. I put him all in. It's quite short. I don't know, I just think that my hand makes sense. I shouldn't have many natural bluffs here. And sometimes I just go with my feeling and just float him on the flop, float him on the turn, and go for it on the river. Very good hand, Musta, very good hand. There is a creative side. I usually always fold the turn in these situations, but I don't know, I just felt that I had a lot of margin to win it. Okay, this is a very interesting hand. I have two options, really. I can just cold call or like go for it. And to be honest, with these hands, like he's two good blockers and it's quite polarized. I have a quite good tag image and I think it's a reasonable bluff pre-flop. I quite like it. I don't think the undergun is trapping so much. The first ISO is tag, he's a solid tag player, so but at the same time he's not gonna call so often here with a player behind. He might raise, but I'm fine, you know, like I'm fine if my bluff goes through and I'm fine if he calls and I try to realize some equities post flop or like play them as blocker and try to bluff her out. I just think the raise is making more money than the call, and I'm happy to take it. Okay, I was more worried about him because he had also a good stack to jam, where here if he calls, to be honest, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna pretend I have kings or queens, and on many textures, I'm just gonna go for it. He's gonna have many middle pairs, some Broadway suited, but on general, you know, something that is gonna be hard to play against a spot like this. So I have the king of clubs that helps, and to be honest, this is a texture that if he doesn't have sevens or sixes that are not likely, he's more likely to have 8, 9s, I think. Even though he can have it, it's gonna be in a tough scenario. I think I must see bet here, especially against this player, and then see how the hand develop.
75.
75.
Let's go. It's quite hard table for the field, but overall I'm feeling good. I'm playing quite good. You know, in these tournaments it's always so quick. Like you can literally just lose a hand and be out. But you know, sensations are important. The vibe of the table is important. Easy raise from the bottom. Also in this situation I might raise a bit wider. Big blind doesn't have really much 3-bet. Small blind also against me. I don't think he's 3-betting at high frequency in this field. Okay, I think it's an easy c-bet. There is a lot of value to take here. I'm very happy. Turn is quite interesting. I can bet again, there is definitely a reason for it. Same time I can check and get, because you know when I bet here I'm gonna put on trouble 10s and 6s, and I think it's more likely that he has this hand. So I like to check back and get my value on the river too in this situation. Okay, as a plan I think I'm gonna value bet here. I don't expect him to have many clubs because I think he will bet the river probably, or like he might check raise the flop or and get it in. So I'm happy to go for a value bet. I think the sizing is quite good. What I expect is having a lot of check calls, and if he raises, I don't know, I think my hand is quite strong. you know, I don't think expect him to have so many clubs, especially for his stack, even though for my feeling and the type of player, I don't think he's gonna bluff so much. To be honest, the sizing is so small and I don't know, I just don't like to fold in this situation much, and even though I might be wrong, it doesn't really look like the type that is might bluffing here enough, but I don't know, it might be on tilt after the hands of b4, like let's see. Oh, he has the straight, nice hand. Yeah, he was a small raise. I'm even more scared when it's a small raise like this, but I thought about checking back river too, but I think we had enough value there and he might go crazy with a 6, who knows, or a 10.
But sometimes some things I didn't found was the best taste, but the idea behind was nice. But at the same time, you know, maybe it wasn't the best meal I ever had. But at the same time, it was really good food and a great experience.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it.
All right.
Okay, not the best hand, but you know, it depends. Also, if I'm feeling good against someone and like I'm winning a lot of hands, like you can win in so many textures. I can definitely check raise, or I can just check call. Both are reasonable, depends what I wanna rep, and check call. It also depends a lot if I think my opponent is gonna bet high frequency or low frequency. Okay, here we go. This is the nap. I'm gonna go for the check raise, even though it was definitely fine to bet as well. But you know, I like to have some nuts on my check raising river. Also, I didn't expect him to have so much. I didn't expect him to have definitely a queen. I didn't expect him to have, you know, I thought he might have like, you know, king high, ace high, and maybe go for it. Not even many ace high. Poker, you gotta fold, even if you're the best, you gotta fold. You know, it's there. It's a big button and you're gonna click it all the time. Again from the button, favorite spot.
No, I was ready.
Yeah, I had one of you out, the 2. The 7.
So it was worse than mine.
favorite spot, big blind. Tough to make me fold, guys. Okay, I expect him to go kind of aggressive in this texture. At the same time, it's like quite easy table. I don't expect him to go too crazy against me, even though I think he might have a bit of a ego thing against me, so he might go for it sometimes way over than he should. But anyway, I have an easy decision here. So turn is not the best, unfortunately. I think if he also, you know, some of his bluffs hit there, like I'm stone dead against Queen Jack, or like even against two pair, or like against set, I'm stone dead, and let's see what he's gonna do. But I think if he goes again for it, I'm just gonna check fold. I have so many better hands to follow up on the turn. Anyway, against him, it's not that I'm gonna defend 8-5 offsuited as often. I think I'm gonna have more structured defending more structured the big blind, a bit tighter. Losing pots always make me tired. Mamma mia. Blinds are going up quite fast, to be honest. Now it's 4-8, and like the average stacks are going up. This is the worst series, you know, you need always to play your chips. There is so many people. You need to make chips, to win chips, and make chips, and change it into money. So it's very important, win chips. I'm in the big blind again. I only play the big blind. Let me check. Okay, king, queen. Oh, I think I'm just gonna call. Like, let me see these three cards. Very strong hand post flop. Okay, beautiful flop. I expect him to bet often, and then I have two options. I can go for the check raise, that is actually quite nice. And I can go for the check call. Sometimes I like to switch it up, because here I can have so many flash draws. So ace 5, 5-6 suited, 5-7 suited, like I can have so many bluffs that I like to check raise this hand. Like, I will not check raise king jack, but you know, king queen is strong enough.
Raise?
Of course, against under the gun is not like the best thing, but also his stack is not huge, and I like it. I can just jam turn, and you know, he's gonna call worst hands too. If he has a king 10 suited, king jack, any king, to be honest, I don't think he's gonna fold. And it's gonna be a tough spot even for jacks, queens, all these sort of hands. Like, I don't think I'm gonna fold jacks against me here. I mean, it's close, it's a hard one. Here I have two options. I can jam, that I think is the best options. You can check and underwrap and make, you know, like, I have flush draw and I don't want to jam the turn, but I think, you know, jam is fine. I decide to bet 4k. I like this bet too, because like if I have a flush draw I might play like this, and to buy me the river he might jam something. Like if he has two pair he might jam for value protection. If he has like even jacks or queens he might jam for value protection. I of course jam. It's also very nice. But I like it. I like this sizing too. I like to put people into complicated situations, and you know, sometimes he can have even ace king or aces and take my money and it's fine. You know, but overall range against range, I like my hand. Not too happy about it, but I have to go with it. Yeah, same hand. Fair enough. Yeah, often you can have the same hand, but I liked how I played. The only option is between small bet on the turn or jam, but I like both, you know. Let's keep going, let's keep going. Okay, here I have an option. I think the call is a bit too wide, but it's a good 3-bet candidate. I can go for the 3-bet here. I a quite solid image, to be honest. Like, and it's fine. Of course, I like to see a lot of folds here, but at the same time, if he calls, there is so many texture we can win it. And to be honest, he had given me the feeling that he's a quite tag player, and you know, he will think about it in many texture, especially here to bluff catch with like a middle pair. So let's see how it goes. I love this flop. I think check is fine and bet is fine, but I like to bet more often as usual because I like to keep the pressure. I think a small bet is completely fine. There is a good value to take here, like my hands all of a sudden became a premium. The turn is quite helpful because he still can have like queen jack, jack 9 suited and all these sorts of hands. He can have some 8s, but at the same time he can have some pairs. Like I don't think he will fold 7s or 6s in this situation on the flop. And I'm quite happy to check jam and close it here, to be honest, depending on how much he bets. I think he can still have a lot of floating on the flop too. And I like to underwrap my hands, you know, he looks like, you know, I have an ace high or whatever and then just check folding. And my hand is quite strong too, like I'm not putting myself into danger. So after check-check, I'm quite comfortable I have the best hand. I just hope for a break and get the best out of it. 7 of clubs. Like, to be honest, I expect him to have a lot of pairs. I don't expect, there is no many full house combination. Overpair is always betting turn. So, I'm quite confident to have the best hand still. And I don't know what is best, if to check and make him bluff catch or like maybe bet small and try to get value from something. I decide to bet 18.5 into 25. I think it's a fine sizing. Maybe smaller size is better here. I also go with my intuition a lot, and I think on the flop I was for sure better, and on the turn after the check, I'm very confident I was better. Oh my god, mamma mia, what happened here? So let me think. What he can have? Oh, he can have some clubs, maybe like Queen Jack of clubs, but Queen Jack of clubs, he might, you just jam the turn, or you bet big the turn, you have so much equity against, you don't want to lose this hand against ace high. He can have an 8 or like a full house and make sense. He can transform something, but he can have 7s too. Oh, it's a very hard decision. I need to add 20k into... I mean, to be honest, I don't think he's capable to pull up a bluff here, but the price is so good, and on the turn I was ahead for sure. It's not about that. Oh, maybe the sizing I did is not the best. Oh, it's very hard. Oh. I mean, to be honest, I think it's made a mistake maybe on the river on the sizing. I should have bet small and just bet call very happy. Or like check bluff catch was fine too. You might have some floating too, like ace x of clubs or like king x of clubs, maybe king queen. King jack maybe. Wow, it's quite loose call there. What's that hand? Yeah. I don't know. Oh, it's poker is hard sometimes, Very interesting. I mean, to be honest, I think I'm gonna bluff catch. Like, these guys always pull up the craziest hands. Like, against me, they go crazy. You can have 3. You can have like ace 3 of hearts, ace 3. The 8 can check the turn. Yeah, the 8 can definitely check the turn. The problem is I'm so sick in my mind. Like, I can have always bluff here and... Let me see. Nah. I didn't expect him to call this one on the flop. Nice hand. GG. Always disappointing. I'm gonna think about this one for tonight for sure. It's unlikely. GG. Vegas. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win, but you need always to be ready for the next one, ready for the grind, ready for the next day, the next tournament. It's always disappointing. I had good vibes about this one. I chip up easy. I had good tables. I felt good. I made a lot of chips uncontested, and my decisions overall were fine. So it's always disappointing when you get out like this. And I made a big mistake. I think I could have definitely played different, but that's poker.
As always, we would have liked to stay a little longer in your company, Mustafa, because it was a pleasure to see you again and to see that you haven't changed one bit. Still as jovial and welcoming at the table, and a fan of the more atypical strategies, which make each moment spent in your company a real pleasure. We'll let you get on with your World Series. Meanwhile, we'll stick around for a while longer in this $2,500 no-limit tournament, because it looks like things are going well for one of your teammates. We'll catch up with him soon in the next episode of Inside the Mind of a Pro.